Hello, I'm Senator Mike Enzi. In the last couple of weeks, many of you have contacted me online or through my office about the need to get the government's fiscal house in order and your opinions on the majority leader prohibiting senators from offering amendments on bills. Let's take a look at some of the questions and comments you've shared with me on these issues. Kelly from Rock Springs says, since the other people can't get it right, let's hear about your plan. John from Sheridan said, fiscal responsibility would be first in many long years regardless of party in power. Jared from Lander said, it is immoral for this generation to finance our activities on the backs of our children and grandchildren. And Dathan from Torrington said, I'd like to take a minute to thank you for defending my and my children's future and standing for a little fiscal responsibility. This country is more in debt than the $17 trillion that we talk about, and we need to have a plan. That's what we were asking for with the debt ceiling. Come up with a plan. Maybe it's a 7-year plan, maybe it's a 9-year plan, but at least have a plan on how we're going to reduce and then eliminate the deficit and then start paying down the debt. I have a penny plan that would balance the budget in 7 years, just taking 1 cent off of every dollar that we spend for a 7-year period. Now, if we do it in conjunction with sequester, and incidentally, sequester made a huge difference in the spending in the United States. If it's done in conjunction with sequester, it would balance the budget in 2 years. And if it's done right, where we're eliminating duplication, we wouldn't feel the pain. The president sent out a message that said, make it hurt. That's the wrong thing for government to do. It can be done without the make it hurt, and I'm pretty sure that at the end of 2 years when we balance the budget, people would say, that isn't so bad, let's pay down some of that debt so our kids and our grandkids don't owe a fortune and the interest rate doesn't go up so fast that we won't be able to afford any of the things that we're used to. Right now we're paying $220 billion a year in interest alone on the national debt. If it goes up slightly, and it's predicted to, within 10 years we'll be paying $812 billion a year. We only spent $630 billion on the military. So that's a huge increase in the amount of money we'd be paying for interest alone on the debt. Doesn't buy anything, just pays people in other countries for loaning us money. So, voting on amendments, Mike from Jackson asked, how do you feel about the record number of filibusters? Nancy from Casper said, a very real problem used by leaders of both parties. Phil from Cheyenne said that Congress should only be able to offer amendments that pertain directly to the bill in question. Chuck from Dubois says, when you propose a bill amendment that isn't pork, totally unrelated, or poison pill, let us know. Robert from Jackson asked, what's the answer? We keep kicking all these abuses around. What is the answer? We know the problems. Dale from Buffalo said, if we can elect a majority in the Senate, it'll take care of the majority leader. Yes, it would, and we've committed our leader to saying amendments will be possible and virtually unlimited in the future on bills. The way that it used to be done in the Senate is the majority party would propose an amendment, we'd debate it and vote it up or down. The minority party would offer an amendment, we'd debate it and vote it up and down, and we keep alternating back and forth until we ran out of time or we ran out of patience or we got tired of it, and then we'd pass a bill. Right now, the majority leader, who is the only one that can call up a bill, and the person who can take a bill down without a vote, he calls up a bill. If he gets an amendment that he doesn't like, he takes the bill down. We don't get any vote on it. Or he can do what we call filling the tree. That's a parliamentary process that prohibits any amendments to the bill. And we have the right to vote against the bill if we can't have any amendments. And we do. And then, of course, the leader says, well, see, they're against kids, they're against veterans, they're against women. That's not the way it is. And this is kind of a new phenomenon. In fact, this majority leader has imposed more of these parliamentary technicalities than all of the previous leaders in the history of the United States Senate. And he does it to keep amendments from happening. Now, I really think that amendments ought to pertain to the title of the bill, and the bill ought to only contain one subject. Comprehensive is not the way to go. That makes bills incomprehensible. We need to have bills that the senators can understand, and just as importantly, that all of their constituents can understand. We need to bring the people along, and then they'll appreciate the work that's done, and it will get done. Of course, they use my 80% rule, which I'll talk about in another topic. that would help to get things done too. That's not compromising. That's finding common ground and leaving out the things we can't agree on, but getting something done. So I'd like for you to remember to keep sending all of the great questions and comments you have, and I'll try to answer them here. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages if you'd like to stay up to date with what I'm working on for you in Washington. If you'd like to start receiving my monthly e-newsletter, just go to my website at enzi.senate.gov and click on the sign up button on the right side of the screen. Have a great week.